I will just give the microphone to Miguel so he can talk about his film.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. This is the first time that this film screens outside, say, America. So first time in Europe, the rest of the world. So first, I want to say that I really like Rodrigo's film. You know, I think he's very brave because showing the violence. You know, you need to have some guts to do, but also in contrast with Levantamuertos, what I wanted to do from the beginning is don't show the more violence that what we already see like in the media, and I really wanted to focus on the job, picking out the dead bodies. I'm from Mexicali, which is my hometown, where this film was shot. Is very hot during the summer. There are lots of deaths of heat strokes. So the heat is always permanent for the people from this town, and this led me to do some research about the people who pick up the dead bodies during the summer. And I interviewed them, and that was a big inspiration to write this script.
I don't know if Lorraine wants to add something just about as an introduction. Do you want to add something?
Not yet. I'll wait.
Yeah, if any of you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything.
Well, just to mention, I know Rodrigo just sneak out, but we have Vincent who did the photography of After the Set. Here he is. And we also have Victor, I think, which is the producer of After the Set. Apparently he...
No, he's here.
He's
Okay,
here.
good.
Thank you for coming. He came from Mexico and he just arrived today, if I am right. So thanks for coming and joining also your screening. Thinking about Levantamuertos, I think it's an interesting story in terms of... Oh, Rodrigo, come here, please. Well, I think we don't have another seat, but if you want to talk about your short film and just give an introduction about it.
Okay, first of all, is this working?
Yeah, it is working.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for the quality. I don't know what happened, if it was the DCP or... I'm not sure, I need to check. The quality was a bit out. Sorry about that. But anyway, this is my grad film from the London Film School, which I shot in Mexico. And the DP, Vincent, he's here. He came from here he went to Mexico to shoot it. And it was 8 days of night shoot, a lot of fun. I've not much else to say.
Well, I don't know. I think it's a story in both cases very difficult to I don't know how to say to put together. I mean, in terms of the content, it's not difficult to find a way perhaps to film it. Or, for example, the dead bodies, you have to do a do of research, and I suppose you as well. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I spent about 6 months doing research on just the drug war happening in Mexico. And I also had a special researcher help me out, a friend of mine, to help me out research most of what's happening with the Zeta cartel. And I have the prosthetic person, who is Jorge Siller. Well, he's a very experienced in the Mexican film industry, very experienced prosthetic guy.
Yeah, and well, my research was mostly based on the people who pick up the dead bodies, and it was my research was mostly about seeing what their slang for because of them was like. It's like a day job, so how they have like this dark humor in order to kind of like survive and see it like an everyday thing, and to a point that they start to like it. You know, they'll tell me, you know, the busiest day is Friday because a lot of people get drunk, and you know we have to go and pick up this dead body. So So I mentioned the executed bodies towards the end of the film, because it's something that obviously we kind of avoid as Mexicans, even I wanted to touch something more from the region, which is the death because of the heat, but there are other things that we cannot avoid, obviously.
So if somebody from the audience wants to ask anything, please. Yeah?
What I wanted to know is, in both films, police wasn't there. It's like, in your film you said that they didn't have guns or anything to fight against crime. And in his film you see the cars behind, but they're not doing anything. So what you see, both of you, it's happening in Mexico with police and crime fights?
Yeah, in my case, I mentioned it like a editorial from the radio. That the drug cartels are more powerful than the police, like the law enforcement, and that's why it appears like that. And well, my film, it wasn't a political film, say, like talking about or crime, per se, but I kind of like when I wrote that, I was like in the shoes of the policeman that to go, and anyway they have to go even though they're not prepared to do the kind of job, because many of them, they're just local policemen, they're not like they don't have like a military training, and this is happening all over Mexico, so they all need like a super big or military all over in case of that kind of fight, this nationwide fight problem.
But what I think actually is really interesting in both films is what you're saying about the day job. I mean, one is the one picking up the bodies, but also the night job is being a cartel. So is to have like the inside story from different perspectives. So I don't know, what do you think about this?
For me, it was interesting to show the journey, and I think the youth, the effect that this war over the past officially 6 years, probably longer, how is this affecting the new generations? And the main character in the short film is Alberto, and he's a non-actor. He used to drive for bank robbers, and he used to work for a cartel. And just having that life experience at age 19, and he's been shot by the cops, he has seen dead bodies, and how is this affecting the youth, and what's going to be the next, because it's so savage and it's so brutal, what you hear in the news and what you can grasp out of what's happening in Mexico, even if it's just like little news that break out internationally. So for me, showing the dead in the way that they're shown in the film, it was important, because they're human beings behind these atrocities.
Yeah, okay.
I think the thing that interested me is how death was part of daily life, and how it interweaves with the daily life, and it's almost taken for granted. It's part of the grit. It's part of the powerlessness, just the way the electricity is being pulled, just the way the electricity is shut off. It's something that happens, and it's something they can't do anything about. So, and it happens on a daily basis, and it happens. It's almost not a surprise when it happens. So that's something that I found very intriguing. It's part of the grit of the city.
Yeah.
Any other comment or question? Yes?
How did you find the 19-year-old guy?
The guy that was helping me do the research, he went into a very dangerous neighborhood in Mexico City, and through him we found an actor who lives in that neighborhood, and through him we met Ivan. And yeah, I just met him, interviewed him. It was mainly for research, but in the end, a day before the shoot, I already had an actor, and I decided to change it and go with this kid with no experience. But yeah, it was mainly just luck.
You didn't rehearse much with him, I guess.
I didn't rehearse much with him. I didn't even need to direct him. He knew exactly how he was supposed to feel.
Another question?
How long was principal photography for Levantamuertos?
Yeah, principal photography was about 3 weeks, and after that we had like a sunlight cut, and then we went down and shoot more and like some reshoot for heat scenes, you know, mostly like to have the ambience of the city. Yeah, and I think it was about that. And we didn't rehearse with the pig. It was it was natural too. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah.
Yes?
Are you working on another project?
Yeah, I'm gonna start I'm doing research and some other project. Yeah.
Is it the same kind of genre?
No, well, in Mexico, this film has been very well received in terms of like they cannot get the dark humor of, and I like if I found by showing the film, I found that people respond to it like with the humor, and now something that I would like to try is like a horror film, like a horror genre, but not. I'm doing research, it'll be like a political horror. What I'm talking about is, I don't really like horror films, but some of them like Rosemary's Baby or The Shining, it's like kind of not like those films. So I'm working on something along those lines, but hopefully it'll be shot in Mexico too.
I just wanted to add something on the line of humor. It's interesting because when we screened the film in Mexicali, and we've screened it here, we screened it at a few other places, and the reaction of the audience, depending on where it is very, very different. It seems that in Mexico, it's seen much more humorously. I mean, people laugh at the jokes. And here it's taken very seriously. People see the horror of it, that side more. So it's an interesting perspective, depending on where you're looking at it from.
Well, it's actually, I personally think it might be very raw. For example, this scene picking up the body of the baby. I mean, that's really, really harsh. I think so. I mean, the thing is that this guy has to. I mean, people that actually work at the CEMEFO, which is like the minister that do this for the dead bodies in Mexico. I mean, it must be really hard. It must be really difficult to see different kind of deaf people and do that like daily.
Yeah, but but at the same time, that's why they say, like that dialogue when they're saying each other, oh, you missed it last night. It was somebody died in a rollover, and somebody, got burned, and like they talk like that to each other.
Like gallows humor. It is the same thing that sort of happens in emergency rooms and hospitals, where it's the only way to deal with it.
To cope with it as well.
Yeah, to cope with it, because some of them, when I interviewed them, it was like they wanted to quit the first day of their job because most of them they didn't saw a dead body before in their lives, but they really needed the job, so that's why they stay and they start liking it.
Another comment?
Yes.
The same question for you. Is it difficult to show in Mexico your short film? It's amazing, by the way. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Both, actually, both. Obviously, the subject is very strong, and how does the people in Mexico react, or where did you show it?
I haven't showed it that much. I tried to submit it to Morelia Film Festival. They didn't like it. I think it's a topic that it's been bombarding Mexicans, and it's something that I find to some extent really annoying, because I remember someone telling me, well, that's enough, I'm tired of hearing about narco. But the Mexican people have been bombarding with a certain amount of information, and they don't really know what's going on behind, what's really happening. And right now it's quiet because the new government wants it quiet, but it's still happening, and it will keep happening.
But can you show it easily then? No, you can't.
Oh, in Mexico, safely wise, I think if this short film is seen by the wrong people, I think, yeah, my life might be, but I don't think they'll get their hands on it.
Yeah, I hope it's in Guadalajara.
I hope as well.
Yeah, man, it's pretty good. I really like it. You know, I know what he's saying. You know, people are tired of seeing all this, you know, every day, but it's something that you kind of avoid. You know.
No, it's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, would be good if everyone could see that.
You know, I could understand maybe why they didn't wanted to screen it at Morelia, maybe because it's not like the trend they want to like portray, but it's excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is it for you to film in Spanish and not English?
Pardon me?
You
Oh, who?
always film in Spanish and not English. Do you make English movies?
Oh, why do I shoot in Spanish?
Language, yeah.
Oh, this was my first feature film. So I really wanted to talk about my hometown. You know, it's a border town, Mexicali. So most of the border towns in movies, they always talk about immigration or drug dealing in border towns. But I'm from there, so I know that it's not like the way people live. So it was for me very important to do a film that could be in Spanish. You know, I love the language, and it's my language, and people from my town speak Spanish. And that's the reason I did it. And also I tried to portray the humor of the people from my town. You know, I didn't have to compromise with anybody. I hope the subtitles were good for you. And yeah, I mean, I live in California, so maybe sometime I'll do a film in English. But yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long time. So hopefully it'll come.
With Spanish subtitles.
With Spanish subtitles? It'll be the other way around.
So if anybody else has another comment or question, please give a round of applause for both directors, Rodrigo Cervantes and Miguel Nunez.